Hey guys, what is up? It is Bibs07 here again, back for another RuneScape vlog. This one is going to be about this week's update, which just recently came out today, actually. I already talked about my progress during the double XP weekend in a different video, so you guys can check that out in on my channel. I mean, not in my channel, but I uploaded that before this. I was just going to do some fire making in this video in AFK, but I forgot I still have this like bonus XP boost for the tail off event where you get extra XP if you couldn't play during double XP weekend or some crap. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and not waste that on fire making. I have an Eretz task currently, which I haven't tried to kill yet, and I imagine it's gonna kind of be a tough task to do, honestly, with my setup because I don't have any level 90 weapons. But still, I'm gonna give it a try. But I definitely will potentially block or at least skip the task until I get a level 90 weapon. So yeah, one thing I wanted to show really quick here. I got an Imp Champion Scroll from getting Zami God Wars Dungeon kill count, and that is just ridiculously lucky. Those are a really rare drop. I'm not 100% sure of the drop rate, but something like 1 in 2,000 or 1 in 5,000, something crazy like that. And I managed to get one during Zami KC. And I don't even camp imps for KC. I kill werewolves and bloodvelds and stuff like that as well. So the fact that I got one on like some of like the maybe 10 or 15 imps that I kill on KC is kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I just thought I'd show that. I think I forgot to show that in my double XP weekend discussion video, so that's that. But yeah, we are going to talk about the update mainly. And again, this week, quite a boring update, to be honest. I didn't really watch the Game Jam live streams over the weekend, but I thought they were going to be releasing some of those little things that they were doing over those live streams. I thought they were going to be releasing them on this Monday, but I guess they're coming out at a different time. I didn't watch any of the live streams, but I don't really know when those updates are actually going to be coming out, so I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. But for this week, we have the Skillcape perks, which is something that old school RuneScape has had for a little while now, and it's nice to see them adding it into RS3. There's a lot of things in old school that the RS3 could definitely use and would benefit from having. I definitely think that there are a lot more things I hope they move over, but they kind of seem reluctant to make the games seem too similar by having a lot of the same content. But I feel like the games are going to be similar regardless. I mean, they're both RuneScape, so they're going to be somewhat similar in some ways. So a lot of the quality of life stuff and other things that are similar to this, like the Skillcape perks, obviously. I feel like it would be nice if they would start doing more of those with the with RS3 as well. But they did come out with the Skillcape perks, and I'm not going to say every single one of the Skillcape perks all through, because if you want, you can just go read yourself. They're on the RuneScape homepage. But I'm going to highlight a few that I feel like are quite useful. And there's also a thing for the quest point cape, and you can add any 3 of these to the max comp or trimmed comp capes. So there are some pretty obvious ones that you'd want to use all at once while in combat, and then all the other ones are pretty much niche uses that you can equip whenever you want to use them. So it seems kind of weird that the way they did it, but if you want to use them on your max comp or trim comp, you do have to feed the Skillcape to them. So it essentially costs 99k to add the perk to your max comp or trimmed comp. So you definitely don't want to be switching it around too often, because that's kind of a waste of money. And there are probably just the 3 that you would really want on those to begin with, so it's not a huge deal. One of those probably being the attack Skillcape perk, which is it gives your items that are degradable a chance to not degrade. So I don't really know what that means. I mean, like it just says a chance to not degrade, like every tick, or like what's the deal? I don't really understand that fully, but that obviously sounds good. It would save you some money on your degradable items, and that might be one to wear on your max cape if you have it, because you'd probably be wearing that during combat, and that would help you out. Strength is pretty useless. Dismember lasts an additional 2 seconds. Like, that really doesn't sound that great. Dismember is also, by the way, a basic ability, so it doesn't really sound like that much of a great thing. Defense acts as a sign of life, pretty useless. I guess I am going to go through them all just so I can give my opinion on them. I said I wasn't, but I guess I am. So defense one's pretty useless. Ranged acts as an Ava's device. Again, pretty useless because you are mostly going to be using abilities, which very rarely you would even use any arrows at all without an Ava's device. So not the best for range, unfortunately. Prayer has an interesting one. It says it imparts the same benefits as lit burners in a player-owned house. So I'm not 100% sure what that means. If it actually gives you extra XP, like if it actually gives you Gilded Altar XP or not, but I don't know how much XP the burners each give. But that's definitely an interesting one to wear when you're like on a dragon task or something where you're using a bone crusher, because that would definitely increase your XP a lot as far as I can tell. So that definitely sounds like a really good one to be wearing when you're doing certain things, but not on your max cape or anything. I don't think. It's sort of a niche use as well. Magic gives you the ability to activate spellbook swap, or you can just swap spellbooks as often as you want at a bank. So that one's obviously a niche use. You just pull it out of your bank and swap spellbooks, but it is a good one. You don't have to go all the way to Lunar Isle or to the Pyramid and Desert to swap spellbooks, so definitely decent. The rune crafting one sounds really nice. You can activate it to reveal the required rune for the Rune Goldberg machine. Now it says the required rune. I don't know how many of you don't know, but the Goldberg machine, basically there's 3 runes per day. One of them is the same for everybody, I believe, and then another one of them is different for everybody, but there's only 3 of them that it can be, and then the last one is just random for every single person. So I'm assuming if you activate your cape, you get to see the final rune that is always random, and that would actually be really, really useful, to be honest. So I would probably want to be getting that, but again, a niche use. You can just pull it out of your bank and do it. Construction reduces the costs of creating planks, which is also going to be pretty good for like Iron Man especially. But again, you can just pull that out of your bank whenever you want to use it for that. Constitution doubles life points regained over time. Not the most useful either. Don't really see that being helpful in any way. Agility gives a chance of double tickets from the Brimhaven Agility Arena, which stacks with the Karamja Task Reward. So that might actually make the Agility Arena a viable training method. I'm not 100% sure, but still not the most exciting. Herb Lore, you can activate the cape to clean all herbs in your inventory for no XP. It's going to be interesting to see how that affects like being able to make money cleaning herbs or something like that. But yeah, I guess it's decent, not too great though. I wouldn't do that on my Iron Man or anything, because like you kind of want the XP despite how, I mean, no matter how low it is. Thieving lowers your stun time when caught from 4.2 seconds to 3. Obviously useful if you're thieving. Just throw on your thieving cape. Would help you out a lot. Crafting thread is no longer needed. When crafting, that is useless. Like thread is like 1 GP, so honestly not even like worth mentioning. Fletching gives a chance of automatically stringing a bow when fletching unstrung bows, which is definitely useful if you're mostly on Iron Man, I would say. I'd say that's pretty good, so I would kind of like that. But again, just pull it out whenever you want to use it. Slayer will allow you to teleport to any Slayer Master in the game that you can already access. So that is actually a really, really useful one. You basically have infinite quick teleports to the Canifis Lodestone if you want, basically, because that's where the Slayer Master is there. You also can teleport into Zenaris really quickly besides using a fairy ring, although don't know why you would ever really want to do that. I can't really think of any other where all the Slayer Masters are. I mean, you can teleport to the Berthorpe one for a farm run. There's a tree right there. What else? I can't honestly remember them all. But also, on top of all that, you can use it to much more quickly and easily buy Slayer Gems by just teleporting to a Slayer Master and then teleporting like to the Fight Cave Bank or something like that with a Tokal Zo, and then you can just easily stock up on Slayer Gems and make a bunch of Rings of Slaying to disassemble for Invention. So definitely going to be utilizing that on both my main and my Iron Man when I do get it on my main, of course. I already have it on my Iron Man, and I've actually already utilized it to buy out a couple of the shops on there. So it is definitely an amazing perk. That's probably my favorite so far. But again, just pull it out whenever you want to use it. So still only one that I would actually even want to add to my max cape. Hunter gives an interesting one. It says activate to give your Herblore Habitat Vine plant the effects of its Hunter Potion. So basically, you don't have to make Juju Hunter potions anymore, as far as I can tell. And that used to be one of the ways you would have to do to catch Draconic Jadinkos. So I guess that's probably good for Hunter XP, and it'll just save you some time collecting the Juju potions or buying them or whatever. I'm not 100% sure, but still, again, not the most exciting thing in the world. Doesn't really help all that much. Mining, the only thing it does is gives you an invisible +2 mining bonus. I guess they couldn't think of a good idea for that, so they just like gives a +2 skill bonus, which is pretty useless. I don't really think that's a good one at all. Smithing gives the same effect as the goldsmith gauntlets, which is, whatever. Again, not a huge deal, but I guess I could wear it while I am while I would do like Living Rock Caverns mining, and then you would allow you to wear the golden mining gloves as well for the XP boost. If you're using superheat form, that's very specific, but it's definitely a good training method, so definitely not the worst thing in the world. Fishing will give you a chance to get a double catch, so obviously if you're fishing, just wear your fishing cape, you can get some more fish. It's pretty obvious, pretty basic. Cooking prevents food from being burned. Again, just wear the cooking cape while you're cooking and you'll never burn food. I don't know how many foods there are that can be burned. I know like the things from fishing trawler, but I'm not sure of any other things, honestly. But still, not too bad. The fire making cape is kind of a weird one. You activate it to light a fire on the spot you're standing on. So I can't see that ever really being useful, because fires are basically like almost useless in RuneScape, honestly, because you can just cook at like a bonfire, or if you're cooking, or like doing fire making, you just light it at the GE. You never use fire making for anything in the game, honestly. And I feel like it would be cool if something like during ice phase at Nex, you have to be near like a fire, or if you're away from a fire for too long, you would like start taking damage because you're freezing or something. I feel like something like that would be a cool way to implement fire making, as long as like higher tiered logs lasted longer for fires for stuff like that. I don't know, that's just an idea. It's not the greatest idea in the world, but still, I feel like they could implement it in more interesting ways. But the fire making cape doesn't sound that great. Invention slows the drain rate of invention charge. Now this is one that I would probably add to my max cape along with the attack. Again, to just save you money on invention charge and degrading. Those would be two nice things to have on there. And it is something you would want to wear during combat, so those two for sure are up there. Summoning gives a chance to save charms when you're infusing pouches, so this is just one you would wear while you're summoning, and you get that chance to save charms like with a spirit gem or something like that. Dungeoneering allows you to teleport to any available resource dungeon, so that actually sounds pretty good, and it probably gives you a bunch more teleport options in the game than there were previously. Like, you can teleport deep into the Brimhaven dungeon, which is really nice. Teleport straight to Frost Dragons. I don't really know where all the resource dungeons are, but there are a lot of them, and they're in some pretty weird spots sometimes, so that sounds actually pretty sweet. It's a lot of cool teleport options on there that are going to be interesting to see if they're utilized in any useful way, but again, just a niche use as well. Farming gives the chance of instantly harvesting a patch, so I'm assuming like you'll just grab all the herbs out of a herb patch or something like that. Again, just wear it while you're farming, and it could be kind of useful, save you a couple minutes on a farm run. Divination gives a chance of saving divination materials, which I honestly don't know what that means at all. Like saving energy when you're creating stuff, I guess, or maybe saving the items that you're creating the thing with. Like you use prayer pots first, I think, for the sign of life, but maybe I don't know. That one's a little ambiguous, but it doesn't sound like something you'd want to use all the time. So just whenever you're doing that thing, just pull it out, put it on. Could save you some stuff. And woodcutting gives an increased chance at finding bird's nest and crystal geodes. So while you are woodcutting, might as well just throw on the woodcutting cape while you're woodcutting to grab those extra nests and stuff for some little bit extra profit or whatever. And lastly, the quest point cape adds 30 seconds onto your Tears of Guthix time. So that is obviously whenever you're going to go to Tears of Guthix, just put that on and you get extra time. I never do Tears of Guthix just because I'm kind of lazy. I really just don't feel like it, but I guess if you do have a whole 30 extra seconds, that is a lot of time in there for extra time, so would definitely be worth to wear that quest cape. But that is it. So again, nothing too crazy. A lot of them sound pretty good, but none of them sound like you'd want to combine the effects in any way. Like they're all very sort of niche use for the specific skill that they are for in pretty much every case. So I guess if I would had a max cape, I would put on the attack, either the defense or the constitution. Both of those are not that great. Probably the constitution, I guess. But actually, maybe the defense, just for that sign of life. Why not? I'm talking about my main account here. Obviously, if I had the defense cape on my Iron Man, I'd probably wear that baby all the time. Give me those free signs of life. But the attack for sure, and the invention for sure, and then either the defense or the constitution would be my third cape. But other than that, I don't see any reason you would ever use anything else in your max or comp cape, because for every single one of these other capes, you can just put it on while you are training that skill, unless you're just so butthurt that you want to have your max cape on at all times. But even then, just keepsake it. Not even a big deal. Don't really understand why they didn't do some more large sweeping overarching effects for some of the skills, like invention and attack and stuff like that, because all the other ones are quite specific to the skill they are for, which I guess makes sense for the skill cape, but still, it's kind of lame that they didn't have better combination potential through the max cape, because once you get the max cape, you don't really have that much benefit from all these perks, because I'm not sure, but I think the max cape on old school gives you every perk in the game. But I honestly don't know for a fact at all. Actually, I might as well look it up while we're here, while we're talking, while we're thinking on it. Because if that's the case, that's pretty crazy. Blah, blah, blah. Just going to go ahead and try and spot it out really quick. The minimum, wow, that is a lot. Blah, they cannot be changed, which I knew that, actually. Its stats are equivalent to a trim skill cape, which is kind of stupid. Wow, less than 1,000 people have max. 994. Well, that's as of February 6th, so maybe not anymore. Oh my god. So yeah, I mean, it has all these benefits. Yeah, it says the max cape will grant all the skill cape perks provided by individual skill capes. So I feel like they could have probably done that with this perk list, and it wouldn't have been overpowered in any way. So I really don't know why they didn't. It seems kind of lame to me that you just have to swap them out at the bank so often to use any of the perks. But either way, I feel like at least for the completionist, or maybe just the trim completionist, should have all of them. But this is the way they wanted to do it. Maybe they'll change it in the future if people complain, but it's kind of lame, honestly, not having all of them on the max cape. Because you have all the skill capes, so why can't you use all the perks on your max cape? But whatever. Again, the Slayer sounds really good for getting a lot of Slayer gems for invention, and the Dungeoneering sounds cool for a lot of interesting teleport locations. And all in all, the rest of them are quite decent for the skill itself. So if you're ever training it past 99, just toss on the skill cape for the skill, and you'll get some decent benefits from it. That's about it for the updates on the week. There's also a couple things in the patch notes, nothing too great, but let me just make sure. Oh, you can buy chaotic equipment from Dungeon Shop without the combat requirement. Wow, it's been a while, but they finally updated that. You used to have 80 magic and 80 dungeoneering to purchase the chaotic staff, but now they removed the magic requirement because you can't even equip it without 80 magic, so who cares if you want to buy it early. But other than that, one of these things right here is actually quite nice. The AoE abilities that you use on NPCs will no longer target another player's familiar in the wilderness. So that was one way people could skull trick you while you were maybe killing Chaos Ellie in the wilderness, or Lava Strikeworm, something like that. And they could skull trick you by bringing a familiar over, and if you used an ability like, say, Dragon Breath or Bombardment, some AoE ability like that, it would also hit their familiar. You would get skulled, and they would kill you for your stuff. So glad they changed that. They will no longer be able to skull trick you like that. And other than that, the only other big thing is there are 2 new boss pets in the game. The Yakamaru and Beastmaster Durzag boss pets, with both have a 1 out of 300 drop rate and a threshold of 60. So definitely not too rare of a drop, but I don't know how raids work exactly, but you can only do a limited number per week, I'm sure. So that is going to be an interesting boss pet to try and get in the far future for me. I always love doing the boss pet hunts. Hopefully I can manage to get another one soon besides the Chaos Ellie pet, but we'll have to wait and see. other than that, you guys, that's basically it for this week in the update. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about the Skillcape perks, and if you think that they could definitely have them all on the max cape without it being OP, because I definitely think they can, and I see no reason why they do not do that, but unfortunately it's not the way they went for. But yeah, other than that, you guys, if you want to see more about my current goals as well as what I plan on doing in the next couple of days, you should check out the Double XP weekend discussion video where I talked a lot about that, because I'm not going to go over it all again here. Going to go ahead and end this video off now. It was just for the update. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.